What is up, guys? My name is Andrew and welcome back to our Factorio series. This is pretty awesome. I like how our base is going currently, but today we're going to focus on something a lot more important. Power! Power is super fun because it kind of sets into motion everything that is your factory. It's kind of the backbone of your factory, and typically later game, once your power starts running out, you start to have real problems. But currently we don't have any of those problems because we're not running power, but that's all about to change in a few seconds. We're going to grab some iron. We're going to need it. We're also going to grab some copper because we're going to need that as well. So let's run all the way over to our copper. It looks like my mouse is spinning there. We're going to run all the way over to our copper, which is actually out of coal. We have some coal that we can supply it with, though. So here you guys go. Take some coal. Have you guys been producing copper? I really hope so. How much do you guys have? 28. Ooh, that's not very much. But it's going to be fine. We have 130 total. So we're going to be completely fine. This is where we've decided, and you can see on the map that we put a marker here. This is where we've decided to put our power. So let's run all the way down over here. And we're going to be putting our power right about here. And there's actually a really, really nice iron deposit here as well. So that's going to be really, really good for in the future. And we're probably, ooh, that is a nice copper deposit as well. How big is that? 3.8 million copper. That is a nice copper deposit. 1.6 million. Yeah, that's probably gonna be our really our best copper deposit that we see. We can put the map really far. Can we actually have a factory that's this big? Jesus, that'd be a big factory. Like I said, I've only played mid game. There's early game, mid game, and late game is kind of the chapters that you can usually put Factorio into. I've only really ever played to mid game kind of. I've never gotten to like late game fun stuff. That, like I said, that's kind of what I hope this series will do. So here's our water, and the reason you need water is because the early form of power is called steam energy. You use these steam engines right here, which do require steam, and you make steam with water by putting it through a boiler. So what we're going to need is an offshore pump, and that's going to get the water for us. We're going to need some boilers, which will convert the water into steam, and we're going to need some steam engines, which will use the steam to create power. So the kind of meta way of doing this is one offshore pump will feed, I think it is 20 boilers and 40 steam engines. I think that's it. It might be 21 and 42. I'm not entirely sure. Correct me in the comments. But so basically every boiler can feed 2 steam engines adequately. If you use 3 steam engines on one boiler, you're going to start to have some performance issues because they're not getting enough steam. So what we're going to do is we're going to do an offshore pump. And don't worry, we're not going to do the whole 40 steam engines currently because that would be a lot. I think we're probably going to do maybe let's do 8 boilers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we will do 8 times 2 is 16. So we'll do 16 of these. And remember, right click allows you to build 5 at a time. So we'll do right click, right click, right click. That's 15. And left click, which is 1 more. And that's going to be our perfect amount of engines. So let's let these build. And actually, we do have some of the stuff ready while we're doing this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our offshore pump right about here. And the offshore pump has to be on the. It's kind of weird. It's an offshore pump, but it has to be on the shore when you place it. So we're gonna place it right here, I think. Yeah, that's not bad. Our power is gonna run this way. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Or do we want to put it down here? You know what, this is a bit more out of the way, so I think we're probably going to put it down here. And it's a lot closer to this coal, which you can see on the mini-map right there. Let's go out. Yeah, it's a lot closer to this coal, which will definitely be useful. So I think we're going to put it right here. Offshore pump's going to go right in this little nook right here. And yeah. And then our power's going to start here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our boilers like this. We're going to put one right. Can we put it there? We have to put it down 1, up 1, and I'll tell you why a little bit later. We'll put up 2 actually. Boiler, and we'll do like that. And then we'll have our steam engines connected. Let me tell you how the boiler works. Okay, so we've pressed Alt is how you see this, by the way. See these little icons here. The way the boiler works is got an input output right here and an input output right there. Let's actually just use one. Input output, input output, output. So the input output on this side is water. You can see right there. And the input output on this side is water, and the output here is steam. So what it does is it takes in water and produces steam. And this is just like a flow, so it's like a normal pipe. where the water can just go through it. So if you were to place another boiler like so, it would also take the water from there. So that's how that works, and then it outputs steam like that. And then when we have a steam engine, here's how this works. It's got an input output, and if you don't know what that means, by the way, what I'm saying is it has an input, which is this arrow, input, and it has an output, which is this arrow. And that basically just means steam can flow through it freely. Like it can go left, right, anyway. And then you see the puff means steam. So you connect the steam to the steam pretty much. So we're going to connect it directly like that. And like I said, 2 steam engines for 1 boiler, just like that. And then we have another boiler here. It's 2 steam engines for 1 boiler. Let's connect them to this. Actually, we need some pipes, which we did not build yet. So let's build some of those. Pipes require a lot of stuff. We're going to use some underground pipes. And I'll tell you what those are in a minute. We're going to make 5 of those. Then we're going to make probably a bunch of these. And I'm right clicking so I can get 5 at a time. Now let me drink some water while this is going, because my voice is going when I do these tutorial things. Not these tutorials, but these Let's Plays. It's tough on my voice. Normal talking is not tough on my voice, but talking while doing these is a little bit harder. And don't worry about all these blinkies. I will tell you what they mean. You probably already know what this one means, so don't worry about that one. Okay, so we have our pipes. We're going to run our pipes. Pipes just carry water, just like that. It just brings water from this to wherever the pipes go. And we're going to run our pipes up like this, and then we're going to... Actually, we're not going to do anything yet. We're going to use our underground pipes. Underground pipes are special because current pipes, you cannot run through them at all. But with underground pipes, they go underground, so obviously you can run over them. And they bring the water from point A to point B. So, like I said, I do that just so I can run through here if I need to. It's a nice little gap that I can use. So you already know what this one means, I'm sure. This one is just, it requires power. So let's give it some power. Alright, that's working. Sweet. And it's probably going to stop working pretty soon because it'll have produced enough steam for these machines to use, both of them. So now that that's working, why is this still blinking? I mean, it's got enough steam. You can see, if you were to, you can't click on it, but you can see on the right side, steam is 200, and that's maxed out. There's a little steam bar. It's maxed out, but it's not working. Why not? Well, that's because if it were to work, it would generate power, but there's nothing to actually power. There's no machines that require power. So we need a machine that requires power. That's pretty much what all it's saying. And what requires power? An inserter actually requires power. An electric inserter. So let's place an electric inserter over here, and let's get some wires as well. We have some electric poles over here. We're just going to grab a couple of those things. Wait for them to be built. There they are. We'll place one here and one there. And now you can see this machine is starting to work. It's jumped into action and is powering this inserter. You can see the electricity has gone full green. So yeah, that is how that works. As long as there's nothing to power, these machines will start to complain because they have no electricity. So the way that you solve this is by putting a power pole in proximity of all these machines. And probably the best way that we could do that is something like this. Something like that, I'm thinking. Yeah, like that. And that's going to power all of these right here. And then probably, okay, so then that's going to just put another gap in between that. And then we can put another 2 like this. And then we have to power them with our poles. So we'll put the same configuration that we were using before. And then we'll just continue on like this. And this is why I said I need a kind of a big area, and I didn't really want to use it over here because that's going to hinder on this this stuff right here, especially if we want to add some production stuff up here. So we're going to put our power a little bit out of the way, and that's going to be perfectly fine. All right. Skip 1. And this is our last column here that we're going to be placing, just like that. Let's place the boilers. Boiler, 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 boiler. All right, let's place the pipes. Pipe, pipe, pipe. Now they all have water, and let's place the power lines. Put one right here and one right here. And we have to put one on this side as well. Yep. All right, so now we have a fully powered setup here. And they're going to be blinking because, once again, there's nothing to power. If I were to put my inserter right there and put a thing over going to it, then they would all start to jump into action once again. Now, our current issue that we have is going to be that we need to power all of these boilers. We need to get some stuff over to these. So we could, I suppose, how slow is this working? This isn't working very slowly. Okay, we could do what we were normally doing over here. If we look, we can't actually see over there. We can see the blurred images of that. We'll fix that later. But if we look over here, where this is where we had our coal set up, we could run over there, grab some coal, and run back over here and put it all in there and get everything working, and just keep doing that every time we need coal. Or we can do what we did with these machines over here, which is going to be to run belts, and then use inserters to insert coal from the belts into these machines. That's probably going to be our best way to do that. And once again, remember I said I want to keep these kind of away from the shore. That's why I did that, because we wanted some belts to be able to fit in. So we're going to run some belts. And actually, while we have belts, we're going to be making some as well. You always need more belts. You can never have too many belts. And we're going to run this alongside there. And where is our coal? Our coal's right here. That's why I said it's really, really good that we have coal nearby, because we can actually use it. So what we're going to do is we could have a burner mining drill, but that requires coal. And we don't really want to be running coal back to it. So we're just going to grab an electric mining drill. And that's fine because we have electricity over here. So we'll make 4. Well, we'll make 5. We gotta wait for all these things to be made. Actually, that's probably enough. So you guys... Oops, I just canceled everything. We'll make 5. And while those are making, I guess we'll just run the line. I don't know. Let's just say it's going this way. And then up. Oops. Okay. See, that's why you gotta watch what you're doing. Am I? Okay. I'll undo all these because I was lazy and just kept going a little bit too far. Oh, I've run out of pickaxe. Okay, let's grab some more pickaxe. 1, 2. Let's make 2 more. The reason I want this to be in line, by the way, is because I might eventually be building more down here. Like building more power. Actually, I will almost definitely be doing that eventually. So this is going to be kind of future-proofing. Oh my god. Come on. There we go. Okay, now we have our drills made. So let's place some of those. We'll put 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there. And you'll notice very quickly that we're putting them on either side like this in this configuration because they place their coal on the side closest. So let me erase these and I'll show you. Once I connect all the power, you'll see what I mean. Actually, I can just grab one of these ones, a standard, and I can show you what I mean. So if we place that there and we place maybe another one over here, you'll see what I'm talking about by they place on the side that is closest to them. Put one right there. Let's give you some of this. So it started producing coal, and you can see that it's placing on that side the far side, the north side. But if we use this one right here, you'll see that it places its coal on the south side, the closer side to us. So that's pretty much what I'm talking about by we want to kind of even everything out, so it places on 2 sides evenly. And later I'll show you a good way to actually resolve any issues that come up because of that, because of uneven sides. But for now, I think it's going to be fine. Let's power all these. And remember, we don't actually have power over here yet. These lines don't mean power. We have to actually connect them up to our power machines, which are up there. So let's run some lines. We'll just run alongside this. And you see what I'm doing, by the way? You can do this. This is a really cool thing that you can do. You can just click and hold your mouse on this thing and then just run. And it'll place it the farthest away that it can go. So we can just run like this. And we have to clear some trees as well. Am I in the way? Yeah. And we'll run this. Yeah, that's a good connection right there. And then let's finally bring the coal over. We have to clear a tree, looks like. All right, so coal is going. And yeah, We don't actually have any inserters. We're gonna use burner inserters for this. We could technically use normal inserters, and that would actually be perfectly fine. The only problem, and this was shown to me by a YouTuber named Catherine of Sky, one that I watch a lot of. The only problem with using normal inserters is that if the power actually goes out, they're going to stop inserting into the boilers, and that's going to cause a catastrophic failure in your whole power system, because no longer will your boilers be producing steam, which means your steam engines will all stop. So any blackouts that happen could end up causing a whole catastrophic failure. So we're going to be using burner inserters, because they're literally just using the coal that's on the line already. And you can actually see that we're starting to get a steady stream of coal, and that's going to be because these are starting to work here. And they're working because we have 2 of these that are working. They're actually going to stop pretty soon, I think, because this is out of stuff. So it's actually running out of steam, you can see on the side. And so now these are going to start running out of steam, you can see on the side. And pretty soon, these machines over here are going to grind to a halt. But that's going to be perfectly fine. They've done enough currently. So let's put one there, put one there, put one there, put one there. All right, and boom. Now all of our machines should be getting ready to grind back into action. There we go. They're all working. Look at that. Isn't that like magical? I think it looks so cool. This is going to bother me. Let me move this to the middle. I think that looks super cool. They're all working. And we can actually remove this over here. This little thing that we did for demonstration. We can remove that. All right, we got power situated. We now have currently a really good power grid that is going strong, and we don't need to worry about it for a very long time because we've done overkill on power, at least for now. Eventually this will need upgrading, but for quite a while, that's going to be perfectly fine. So now what we want to do is we've defined kind of this area as going to be our main production area, since it's kind of where we started. We already have kind of a setup there. So we're going to want to run power to those areas so that they can start using it. So let's do that by grabbing some poles. We only have 50, we might need some more. So let's right click some of these things. And we'll just do that technique where we hold the mouse button and we run alongside like this, and it'll place it automatically for us. Currently, I really don't care where these power poles go, because eventually they will be kind of probably replaced by other stuff. So it's fine that they just cut across the landscape a little bit. So we can see them on our map now, little dots. And if we actually click this one right here, we can see the electric network. The electricity starts here and it runs over here and runs down here. But we don't need that view for now. We also don't need logistics networks or turret coverage because we don't have any of those yet. All right. So I think one thing we should probably start doing is, okay, see this right here? See how I'm in map view, by the way. You can tell because you see this view. If I scroll in on map view, I can actually move around like this and see stuff. However, once you get too far away from where your character is, my character's right here. Once you get too far, you can't see stuff. And that actually moves with your character. So you can see as I go down right here, it's gone down with me. So I can see that. If I go down a little bit more, now I can see the full, well, almost the full area. And the way that you can, well, okay, it's not actually, whatever. You get the idea. There's this blurry area that you can't actually go and see anything in. And the way that you actually kind of fix that is you have to get these things called radars. Radars are very, very useful. And we're going to build one of them. And I'm going to show you what it does. It does actually 2 things. Radars are super awesome. So let's build and let's place it. Radars require power, so we're just going to put it right next to one of our little power stations. And immediately it starts up just like that. Now you can see, if I go all the way down here, it's going to take a little bit. Over here, you can see that my kind of ring of light, my square of light around my character is down here because that's where my character is. So I can see everything over here. It gets a little blurry at that point. And if I go further down, you'll see in a second what I mean. That square of light follows me. It's kind of confusing the way I'm saying it. The square of light. The square of being able to see on the map. However, with a radar, it kind of allows you to see anything around the radar. even if your character is not there. So it becomes super useful because you can actually see all your stuff. Like suddenly we have a power failure. Whoop, where's the power? You can actually go over and see what's causing the issue. So that's what radars are. Maybe that explanation was super confusing, and I bet you it probably was. But maybe you'll understand it a little bit later in the series once we actually start getting more and more radars going and stuff. The other thing radars do, the secondary thing that they do, is they actually scan sectors of the map. So you can see right here, these little squares right here, square, square. These little squares are sectors of the map, and the radar slowly scans them as it goes. So it uncovers more and more of the map. Now you can also uncover more of the map by actually going there and exploring, but for now that's not really what we want to do. You can see in the bottom of that right side screen, sector scanning progress. It's basically uncovering a new sector. So that's going to be telling us some pretty interesting stuff. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to get an introduction to science. To build science, to start with science, let's go into our inventory. And we'll go into our build stuff. And if we go into production, we'll see that at the bottom there's this thing called a lab. That is our main center for science, our main thing that we need to start researching things, to start science. You may have noticed at the top right of the screen, next to my little FPS counter, you'll see press T to start new research. Now, initially we haven't done anything with that, and the main reason is because we don't actually have any science being produced by a lab. But we're gonna be starting that very, very soon. Oh, and you see, as soon as I placed it, it brought up the research screen. So this is pretty confusing. I mean, you probably understand it because it's laid out in a pretty good way, but it gets a little bit confusing when you get to these stuff and what they mean. So the way the science works in Factorio is you have this big tree of things, and each science that you can get, like automation, logistics, steel processing, all of these things give you stuff, and what they give you is in the effects. So if I were to do automation, I would get assembling machine 1 and long-handed inserter. These are the two things that I would unlock by doing this science. Now, the other effect of doing the science is that it unlocks something down the tree. For instance, electronics is unlocked by doing automation, which means that after I do automation, I can now research electronics. And this is the kind of research tree. And if you go all the way down to your main goal, which is a rocket silo, that's what you want to build, you can see that it requires a lot of stuff, and it gives you a lot of stuff, but it requires all this stuff in the tree. And this is not a complete tree, by the way. Some of this stuff requires more stuff than it just says. So, but yeah, we're going to start our research. We're going to start with automation because automation is super important. If we look at the cost, we can see that it requires 1 science pack and 10 seconds, and then times 10. So then it technically requires 10 science packs and 100 seconds, which is not actually too long. So let's grab some science packs. Science packs can be built in the intermediate products. Hey, look, I can only build 10, so that's perfect. Let's build our 10 science packs. And they take a little bit of time to build, which is why science packs are probably the best first automation that you can do, the best super early automation. And that's gonna be coming in handy when we actually start to research automation, which I'll hit, by the way. And it's not going up because we're not actually producing any science yet. But as soon as I add these science packs here, you can see it immediately jumps into action and starts producing. So it's going up. Let's build our science packs. And here we go. Come on. It takes a little bit of time to actually build science packs. Once again, that's why automation of this thing is amazing. It's great. We don't have any more copper, so let's go over to our copper machines and see how they're doing. I bet you they're all out of power. All out of... No, actually, they're maxed out on copper. That's why they're not producing anything currently. Boop. Just grab all that. And we'll go check on our steel as well. Well, let's go place these science packs in first. Boop. And then, now let's go... Not steel, but iron. Let's go check on our iron, see how they're doing. Yeah, it looks like you guys are good. They're actually full machines as well. So, how are you guys doing? Do you have enough? Yeah, you guys have enough coal. I can see that by hovering over them. In the side, you see their amount of coal that they have is 29, 45, 46, 47. So that's how I know. Automation is getting close to complete. And once we do automation, I'll show you how to automate red science packs very, very easily. Well, like a basic automation, not like a full automation. All right, there we go. That is the sound, how we know that we have completed our first thing. And you can see automation's turned green. And now we're able to research electronics if we want to. Our next research that we want to do, by the way, is going to be logistics. Let's hit that research. We don't currently have any red science packs in here because we don't have any in our inventory. We can make 300 of them, but they're a little bit slow. So I kind of want to set up automation for that. All right, so we're going to set up a basic automation of red science packs. And this automation is not going to be like a full automation where you don't have to do anything. It's more going to be an automation where we feed it the basic materials and it makes red science packs. And this is good for if we want to show how to do automation, how it kind of works. And we also get like just a really, really early basic setup going so that we don't have to actually make all those by hand, because they do take a long time to make. So the first thing that we're going to want is going to be assembling machines. We've made 10 of those. We're not going to need all of them, but we have 10 just to show you how they work. The way assembling machines work is you select the things you want to assemble, and then you supply it with the materials that it needs. So if we go into our inventory, we can do it in here probably. If we go into here, we want to assemble red science packs. They require 1 copper and 1 iron gear wheel. Now, notice they require 1 iron gear wheel. They don't require the 2 iron that it takes to make the iron gear wheel. So they can't take the early items. They have to actually take the items that directly make the science pack. So that might be a little bit confusing, but what I mean is that they can't take raw materials unless the raw material goes directly into making the item. So we're actually going to have to set up an automation for iron gear wheels instead of just providing this thing with iron and letting it do the work like it does in our inventory. If I show you the inventory, you'll see what I mean. When we click one of these, it makes the iron gear wheel, then it goes and makes the science pack. You'll see it again. It'll make the iron gear wheel, then make the science pack. Well, the assembler can't do 2 steps like that. It can only do the 1 step, which is make the red science pack, so it requires you to input the iron gear wheel. So the way that we're going to do this is first we're going to set up an automation for the iron gear wheel, just like this. And we're going to do this by actually giving it iron, like feeding it iron with a inserter. Like we'll put some iron in here, and that'll go directly into this, and then this will go directly into 2 more assemblers, which will make, or 1 more assembler rather, which will make the red science pack. So there's the red science pack. We will feed it with an inserter. Let's make the inserter, and we'll make a couple more of this as well. So we'll feed it with an inserter like this, so the gear wheel will go into there, and then we'll also feed this. Let's make another inserter. There we go. We'll also feed this some copper. And the way it's going to work is that we're going to actually go and bring this iron and copper, and it's going to make us red science packs. And we'll output the red science packs right there. Yeah, okay. So you're set to make red science packs. We just need to give you some copper, and you should be good to go. We just need to power everything with some power poles. Put one right there and put one right there, and let's power it up to the grid. All right, now it should be working. There we go. So it's making these gear wheels, and those are going into the red science, and then it's making the red science, and those should be outputted right here. All right, we've got our automation for red science going, and it's working fine. The only issue that I see is that we're making gear wheels, but not using them fast enough. So we could probably do this a little bit better. If we want to have this a little bit faster, we could probably do something like this, where we add another, red science maker. So we do something like that, and then like that. But that would also need to get some of this as well. So, where are we gonna put that? Oh, here's what we could do. Let's do this. We're gonna switch this around a little bit. So now you are gonna, let's take it from you. We're gonna have this exactly where the other one was, and we're gonna put these inward, and this is gonna be where the copper is gonna go. So copper just like that, and then we're going to output these to chests, and that's gonna be where the red science is. So the only difference is that the red science is not actually gonna be in the same chest, but it's okay. We can just come over here and grab these like that. So that should be going a little bit better. That should be being a little bit more efficient. Now we have all our science. We can just place it in here. We've got 10 already. And that's going to start working on logistics. And pretty much this works the same way as it works with stone over here, in that it's not a very fast production, but it's fast enough so that if we go and do something else and then come back, there should be a lot of red science. So see, we just collected 5 right there. So we can just put that right into the machine. That should be 15, so that's getting a little bit closer to reaching our logistics total. We can actually speed up science, by the way, if we add another lab, because it'll work double the speed, provided that they're given science packs. They're each given science packs. So that's exactly what we're going to do. That's probably going to end the episode as well. Now that we've dived into electricity, we've gotten that set up over here. And we've dived into science, we've got that set up, and a basic automation as well. I think that's a pretty good progress. So let's put that one there. And we'll actually take out half of this by control right clicking, and we'll put it in there. And let's go grab a couple more of these. And we'll place half in there, and we'll place half in here as well. And that should give us logistics. It's going double the speed that it was before. Even though it might not look like it, but it definitely is going a little bit faster. And that's pretty good. I think that's probably all that we need to do for this episode. We have we have a basic automation for iron going. We have a basic copper production. We have basic production of red science packs. This is looking really, really good for an episode 2. I think in episode 3, we're going to actually start working on a major smelting operation. Because while this is pretty good, it is not good enough to supply an entire base. And that might seem crazy at first, but when you actually see how big a normal base is, you'll understand. I think maybe next episode we'll also work on getting green and red science packs both automated in a more efficient way, so that it's actually fully automated rather than only like partially automated like currently. So I think that's going to be good. Let's get logistics and then we'll end the episode. And 3, 2, 1, logistics. Let's go. All right, we got logistics. That's giving us underground belts, fast inserters, and splitters. Those are all going to be very useful things in the next episode. Anyway, if you guys liked that video, hit that like button, put your comments and suggestions down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.